Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's discussion. We're going to be talking about how we're going to be referencing How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days with Matthew McConaughey. And in the movie, Matthew McConaughey is asked by his staff to make a girl fall in love with him in 10 days. And then her story is that she's going to lose a guy in 10 days. And so in the movie, she does all these horrific things that a girl, she makes fun of women and says everything that a woman would do to irritate a man to drive him away, which would make her think that he would want her. Which is basically all codependency, oozy behavior of lack of self-respect brought on by dealing with other women. So in the movie, she gets pissed off because he is found out to make her fall in love. However, she was talking about his private parts to women because that's what women do. She's horrible in that movie. It's annoying to watch, actually. And I couldn't believe that he was able to tolerate it as long as he was. Anywho, in the movie, there's a lot of drama. She wants to be a drama queen. Tell him you love him after 2 dates. Cry during or after intercourse. And tell him everything he's doing wrong. Already after 3 or 4 days together, bringing in a plant, getting a dog, moving her stuff into his apartment. But no connection or conversation between the two of them. She even waves basketball tickets in his face to get him to be enticed by her likes and dislikes. Sometimes women will do that just to pretend they like something the guy likes. So it occurs as if they have things in common. And then when they do snag the ring, they don't have any interest in them. So they're constantly working the high road, especially these so-called high value women, to keep you interested until they get the documentation to ensure their future with finances. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, they're buying clothes, doing hair and makeup, which will never stop. Because when they do make it to the point where you do want to have a kid with them, they'll just hire a nanny. And then say, oh, I'm so tired. I hired a chef. I hired servers. I didn't do anything except for talk to people. And then the next day she lies on a massage table and says, oh, entertaining is so exhausting. And that's the future of women, with you men leading the space with the expectation of all women turning out to be just like that. Because who do you think a child will become is their parents. Evolution. I'm sorry, but Persian culture is not welcome in this country, and really Middle Eastern culture isn't either. Too bad if you don't feel like you're above all, but you ain't going to destroy American culture, because that's why we're American and that's why you're Middle Eastern. If you want change, you go back to your homeland. If you want to make a change, go back to your homeland. What part of that do you not understand? We're the democracy. Great Britain had kings and queens. Spain had kings and queens. Not in a democracy either. That is not going to be recreated either, Mona Vand. The Shah was overthrown, which means that you're no longer Persian. Moving on, she's a prime example of her content using erotica, implicative of posting videos. Look at me and his. So she's trying to make other women jealous. She's showing her body off constantly. Means she doesn't have anything up here to get a man mentally interested. So everything that is of interest for her is located here. And in here, which is a hypnosis state. I'm going to hypnotize him. Let me talk to him in an erotic voice. I'll wear this outfit because it'll turn him on. Look, I got the ring, ladies. Literally a drama series of nonsense and garbage that a man would be willing to participate in to fuel an organization of a business. Moving on to more things of, she'll even go as far as to show up at the basketball game to ruin his time, which is not only what they did in the movie How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, but it's the same thing Mona Van did when she went to the Knicks game because she wanted to make sure that she got in the photograph. That's why Behati Prinsloo shows up with Adam Levine at the Lakers game. She doesn't like basketball. She likes the fame. She likes to annoy people. She likes to be disruptive. Go get me a Coke, Adam. I'm sorry, go get your own Coke. But I don't feel safe. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were a feminist. I thought you were an independent woman. And that's the confusion that's getting created amongst these women. Then she wants to pick him apart if he's not behaving in alignment with what goes well with her image. So don't be yourself, Gary. Don't be yourself, Adam. Be how I tell you to be, and I'll continue to pick you apart until you do what I say. Tell her she looks fabulous. Be judgmental and pick him apart to fit your needs. Don't have sex with him until you know that he's completely hooked. And then he'll act like he melts as you leave the room and say, I am so into her. Instead of thinking with here, you're literally only thinking with here. She got me a discussion with that person. Thinking with here, thinking here. Never, ever really connecting to the woman, although he thinks somehow he is connected to her. Hook a guy and pull the switch, she says. Limit it to today. Clingy, needy, and touchy-feely she becomes. But he kind of likes that because men are generally wanting to be the superhero. But they do it in a way that's really reptile-like. So they know how to give and then pull back. Give and pull back. Clingy just enough. Pull back sophistication. Clingy, pull back. Clingy, look at my hair, look at my makeup. Don't worry, I'm going to disrupt your football game. It's all about us. It's all about us females. Don't you forget that. Yet you still comply, Travis Kelce. See, in the old days, Travis Kelce would never date somebody like Taylor Swift. He would date like a homegirl who's like wilderness-like and stuff, like kind of like a tomboy feminine, a grounded individual. But then these women somehow were created. It's very strange to watch. Ugh, it's just really gross. Call him and tell him everything that you had to eat that day. That's the kind of conversations they have with you. Wow, that's so interesting. You had what to eat? You had that? Oh, and then they parrot talk everything you say. That's the way to entice someone to think that you're intelligent. However, if you really hear it, it's actually quite annoying. It's very easy to read a woman if you actually shut your mouth and open your fucking ears. The woman needs the man to buy her a diamond. The woman needs a man to buy her the diamond. It's because a diamond's rare, unique, and a man died for that diamond. And a diamond for everyone would just imply that diamonds are everywhere, and they actually are. But that doesn't work with the industry of money, which is everything this is involved in. Giddy, desired, giddy, desperate. A woman in love wants diamonds. No, a woman doesn't in love want diamonds. Modern women who are in their 20s and 30s want to prove they're in love. That's not actually love. That's the competition in the game that they've created in association to a relationship. And men have been all about playing that game, haven't you? No real interest in anything each of them know about each other except for those photographs. Just getting something for themselves. Well, I guess this is how relationships are, they say. No real conversation. And then they scam an entire audience, makes us all feel bad, while they then portray themselves as heroes on their platforms. Even going to the point where, don't judge me, sorry. To the point where you'll actually be a host for some podcast and then gossip about this relationship to make us uncomfortable. This is new relationships. But the women love it because now they're winning. They're winning, they're being seen, they're being heard. They want to be heard, but they have nothing to talk about. They have no education. They have no high school education. And they abuse the Constitution and call freedom doing whatever they want. While the rest of us are enslaved in their vision of their cult. They're flying the Palestinian flag. Looks, soft hellos, tingles across the room, gossip. Gossips over to tell her friends he's cute. Battle begins because now she's told somebody else that she likes a dude and now she gets interested in the dude. Instead of minding her own effing business and seeing all the other 400 guys that are in the room, she only wants him because she wants him. That's how these women work. Yet the man doesn't say anything. He loves the attention. Of course, don't forget the alcohol they're going to drink to cause ease and unrest amongst the masses. There's those in the inner circle and those in the outer circle. Jealousy is raging. Women amongst married men, single women amongst married men. No men will say no to a beautiful woman. Not that kind of attention. So there's ones in the outer circle that are watching you in that interesting beginning stage of a relationship. And then there's those on the outer circle that are trying to infiltrate your brand new relationship to diminish what it is so that it doesn't work. And you want to understand that because look at what Gary Vaynerchuk did to me. You thought I wasn't going to say nothing, didn't you? Let's see. They make weird sounds and giggles. And it's like really slimy energy that's occurring as erotica. So it would be like something like Taylor Swift running off stage and giving Travis a hug. Or Gary sitting there at a table with his arm around Mona Van's neck and then making that tongue face. Or her tapping on her glass and saying, juicy juice. Juicy juice. And that's the kind of energy that they're trying to put in a business meeting. And that's entrepreneurship. That's not business, is it? But that's what women are trying to create as business. You don't bring your personal life into business, Gary V. Fake laughs, fake conversations, they're all lying. All is fair in love and war, they say. Love and war? Lies, men pay for everything. But women are the problem. Question mark. You figure that one out. Willing to sleep with someone for a story. I mean, these women will actually sleep with these people just to get a story. That's prostitution. Likes the guy, thinks he's hot. So now there's something in a glimmer of a good guy that will come out even in a disruptive path like this. But she'll ignore it and she'll still participate in the concern and the problem to hurt someone. This is all about getting hurt. You're getting hurt. You're getting hurt. You're getting hurt. But I'm not getting hurt. I'm feeling good about myself because I'm getting one over on you. It's all on camera. Darts back and forth while pretending to like each other, but they do like each other. And I'm not talking about Mona Van. We're talking about how to lose a guy in 10 days. But she'd rather, instead of this is the funniest part of all this shit. is, yeah, these women are attractive, but instead of doing authentic work, they decided to go the witchcraft route with Taylor Swift, because Taylor Swift wanted to create her own Wiccan community. So you lost out on a big opportunity, big opportunities. All of them did. You decided to abuse your audience instead of help your audience because you thought that that's how the game was played. That's not how the game's played. So that means that you as an audience have been abused by these relationships, but this is in Hollywood, celebrity, content creator, but this is also in your hometowns. Because content creator trickles into your hometown, and so they're trying to disrespect you and the love you have for a person that would never date Taylor Swift, would never date me, would never date any of these people except they're your partner. So you're not only ruining your life, you're ruining your spouse's life, and even worse, your children's lives. Because this is the game you're playing. Seduction as the main connection, no conversations or comfort, just lust. So it's like, I'm really uncomfortable all the time. I can't fart. I can't feel sick. It's not real. I can't feel like I'm myself. I can't laugh like I used to. However, that becomes the new norm and you forget who you are. So then you just go with it because she's so manipulative and so attractive until she sucks the life out of you with lies. And so there's like a game they play of respect me. Women play this game. Respect me, to where the man says, I respect you. But it's a lie. Respect me, I respect you. Respect me, I respect you. Photo. You use, she uses, but she's worse. Men are in charge. There's never a commitment. It just looks like there's a commitment. You commit to the game versus the person. So that means when you go to parties and stuff, she flirts, you get mad. You don't get mad. You flirt, although you say you're one way, but you act another way. Then you have the misperceptions of that as a flirtation when it's just a conversation. You can't be friendly with these people because it seems as if you're friendly, that you actually want to hook up with them. And that's how unprofessional this whole game is. So everything that's going on is a complete, utter, diabolical version of sex in a world of business where you're trying to assist people in entertainment, in advancement in their emotional health, wellness. That's not wellness. That's mental illness. If you can commit to yourself for your ethics, your morals, and your values, you might be able to overcome it, but then you wouldn't be with somebody like that. When you decide to date and get engaged to somebody like this, you're entwined in lust and masked by love. Diamond. That's what the Hollywood wants everyone to see as the norm perception of what a relationship is. We're speaking to American relationships here, folks. Meaning you don't even understand the whole other leg of what a Muslim Persian would bring into a relationship, which is completely lonely. Just a dance between two people of psychosis. A world with no love, and that's what they're trying to create, because Muslims don't experience love the way an American experiences love. They don't really understand it. They only experience what Mona Van shows you, which is all lust. Like I'm like literally floored by her video of her taking a peanut butter ball and sticking it in her mouth. And then taking the plate and goes, just like she did with Toss Your Salad. That's not normal. That's not helpful. That's the key word, is that's not helpful to an audience. Don't forget the flowers. That means you're going to show somebody that somebody's in control. Because this is the game of the elite game of relationships that trickles down into society. Then she plays coy and she giggles. Battle of the coy. That's the, oh, did you? Did you? Did that really happen? It's not me. I'm so sweet. I'm so humble. I just showed you my diamond earrings. I'm so humble. I'm so humble. I'm so humble. Coy. Look at me walk. I'm going to play a joke and walk and pretend to fall. Actually, somebody walked in front of my camera. Now I'm effing pissed. And then I'll make a joke out of it as if I'm on the fly being silly when you're just a fucking moron. Wow, what a great relationship. Makeup, hair, and clothes. Makeup, hair, and clothes. Makeup, hair, and clothes. That's the most time that they ever feel sophisticated is after they've had plastic surgery. They've repaired something they don't like about themselves physically. And then they talk about nothing more than gossip, about other people, about things they want for themselves, money, boring conversation. It's just, they talk about relationship in their history. And then they both play the role of what they think the other person wants. And that's very short-lived, but then you're already in like Flynn. Usually at the beginning, you can see right through it. It annoys you and picks when attention diverted away from her direction. So when you're not paying attention to her, then she gets picky with you. And that's not a real relationship. That's somebody who's not secure in who they are and can't stand on her own 2 feet. That's why you see a lot of videos of Gary Vaynerchuk talking and her standing next to him, holding her hand. She can't operate in public without somebody catering to her because she has like a form of autism. But Persians don't get autism, but she has autism. I knew this girl once who wanted that we went to a convention together and she liked people to rub her shoulders to soothe her. She had to bring her dog with her too. Women on women. So Gary soothes her in public and doesn't even know it. So he's trying to not only build his business, he's trying to soothe his enemy. While he smiles to everybody's face and acts like he's undercover while she's trying to produce lust all around. It's really sad. Let's see. And then, of course, then they play the mind game, the mind tricks of competitive repetition because she's mentally ill, right? And so she'll say things like she hates you, 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 and she just like says it over and over until your insides are like this, and then you just break because you haven't found a new aspect on how to extinguish this behavior. Because she's psychotic. Now, this is going on for millions of women out there, to us, and no one's protecting us. So our lives are in jeopardy, but nobody seems to really want to take a look at this concern, including psychologists. You literally are bringing Travis and Taylor on your conversation, not because you're trying to warn people, but because you want clout. I'm here in America right now. And this has effect on everybody across the country. And so there is reason for people to take this country to war. And it's not because of me. It's because of people like Monovan and these content creators showing off their money as if that's all we care about in this country. Some of the worst performers that have ever walked this planet are now performing in front of the globe. Now you invited foreign people into the country to destroy us. No respect for humans. No respect for the United States of America. Let's see. I got to move quickly because we have 2 more pages to go through. Everything's working off of lust. He becomes lost and she's just a bitch. but he like always gives her the benefit of the doubt, because then she will flip her hair and do something like really erotic, and then he'll be like, oh, well, she's not that bad. Babe, what do you mean? Flip. Oh, she's not that bad. Cycle over and over and over again. Let's take a picture, babe. Fiance, come here. Let's take a picture. What, honey? What, babe? This is Gary. What, babe? And then everyone around thinks that that's a connection. And then it fuels that relationship. And that's how sick you all are. So you'll see when people are on these podcasts, don't forget her fake tears. And then all you do is you try to get her off your ass, and then you agree to whatever she says. More validation. Instead of letting her cry and say, screw you, and walking off. So you see it with these news reporters, and they say things like, we're going to welcome the talented such and such who's in Hades Downfall, which is a Broadway play. It's a Broadway play. Hades something. I don't even know what the last part of it is. And then the girl shows up and she's some prosty. And he's supposed to be a grown-up. And so you're allowing these little 20-somethings to elude your private part to get hard so that they can fuel their career and destroy America, while you take the side of Biden and go against Trump. Oh, well, I got what I needed. Too bad you missed it. Friendly again. He thinks he won. She thinks she won. The diamond's there. Moving on. Don't look into the past. Although you always look to the past so you can move forward. Stop it! Stop. We're in the middle of a session. And then we get the whiny voice. Babe. I love Gary. This is her whiny voice, which is her normal voice. I would love to spend my life at Christmas with a Jewish man. He's so sweet. And now he doesn't say anything against it. So now he's agreed to the behavior. And that's how people on the internet operate. It's called diabolical behavior. Status, submissive, control. So she's always trying to be in control. Your choice, picks fights with others to cause trouble. So she'll be in a dinner and she'll specifically flirt with the other woman's husband to make her jealous. And then she'll say nitpicky things like, well, I went to such and such and they said this, to start a fight, not to have a conversation. And then if you're a kinder person, they submit you into their submission to where then they look like the smart one. And then when you say smart things, they repetitively parrot talk you. And then all the men look at that woman like Mona Van and say, wow, she's so smart. Because that's how you operate. But then you say, don't tear people's buildings down. Yet they're always tearing everybody else's buildings down, which means that you need to tear other people's buildings down. That's the crazy part, is you don't tear a good person's building down. All they do is tear good people's buildings down. While all you bad people are winning the race while you're educating on us to just be kind. That's not how people win in this business. And so that's illegal and that's unethical. And then if you ever were to stop for a minute and say, who exactly is she? She's mentally ill. She has no capability to lead an audience. She's actually abused the audience where she can't even control her own emotions. But she taught them how to behave also. So that's how your children will behave. Causes trouble. Then he defends her. And she doesn't really care about anything except for herself. There you go, still supporting, always supporting. You're always supporting. You're still showing up at events, over and over and over again. All of you are doing it. You even have children with them to reiterate the fact of how much you love them and how wonderful they are. Meanwhile, all of us are suffering while you put yourselves on pedestals, acting as if y'all are the heroes when you're the ones that are the instigators, because you're the ones who chose these people and are furthering their careers. While you will end up in a grave 10 years earlier and then say, man, I love that woman. She's so great, as you take another award speech and you thank her in front of everybody. He goes out of his way to help. She does nothing but pick it apart. Stop. You still haven't had any real conversations with her? Yet you're 2 years in, still holding on to a ring, still holding on to photographs and an image and a brand to create a persona to get what you need in your content and your businesses. Annoying music to soothe you into erotica. We're only for this particular story, we're in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. This is literally 4 days in. And your mind's probably already cloudy in it. But that's what they offer because they don't have anything to offer. So then they waver in and out of new personalities. And then they want a real future. So they send little messages about a visualization of what it would be like if you were married. What would it be like if we were married? Our children would probably look like that. Coaching all the females, each other, posting things on the internet, getting aroused, getting attention, day trading attention on a relationship, battling other women and getting one over on other women. Lots of drinking, which would be mocktails, promoting each other's content. Whether it's unsuccessful or not, the fact that it's you and it's her, you created a buzz associated to it, day trading attention. So the only person that's really actually suffering is your audience. However, you don't care about that because that just puts more money in your pocketbook and gets more people looking at your content. To where you even go onto your content and take a look at conversations with women where you talk about it. They love the game. I love the game. Attention competition is the game. Fake tears constantly, praise on your weaknesses, never acceptable. I need more, now I'm sick. Sarcasm and rude, makes shit up. They all make shit up. She gets hers while he suffers instead of trying. She doesn't do shit. The women never do anything except for look at what they're doing on the field at the football game. Walking and posing and then acting like they have something to offer by waving to the crowd as if they're a princess. Then they run over to their boyfriend or their husbands and then jump on them and he spins her around romantically. That ruins a football game. Yet the player still attributes their home life as if that's family, but that's not family. That's some weird ass shit. Not only that, it ruins their football game. The game of New York, run everything, all the joy's gone, disguised by it is what is. Oh, it's just what it is. I'm so happy. Lust is always the cover for joy. I'm lustful. I'm so joyful. Lustful and joy. Lustful and joy. Lust is joy. Lust is joy until lust just is what it is. And we all end up like Bangkok. That's not somewhere I want to fucking live. How many more titties do you need to fucking look like to get your dick hard? It's some nasty ass shit. But who are they performing for? They're competing against women, and they're performing for you, and you all accept it as normal. Men who are not involved in this circuit are accepting this as appropriate behavior. To where women will literally look at me and say, don't worry about them. Well, guess what? I got to worry about them. Why? Because you ain't worrying about shit. They've been doing this for years, not like this. These men and women in their millennial Gen Z era have no respect for nobody. Then they cry out and say democracy, while men in their 40s, my generation, are marrying them and screwing us all over. And that's your responsibility when you become a man and an adult. That's why you don't marry someone who's 30 years younger than you or 40 years younger than you when everyone's doing the same thing. You don't love them. You don't even like them. You just want lust. That's nasty, shallow shit. Acts like a child. Not even good. Annoying behavior. Like there's a video of Adam Levine where he's probably in his early 30s maybe. You might be in your early 30s and she's like 20. And she's trying on clothes and she's like this. It's the one where the girl gets run over by the car. Where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at? That one. And she's lying on the couch next to him like a little baby. And I thought to myself, you can't be fucking serious that you put that in a video. You're not as talented as you think, director, are you? Let's see. Gets him hard, leaves him, dangles the carrot, and tells the girls. And so then they all learn the sequencing pattern of hot and cold. And they're cold-hearted and no intention except for what is in it for them. And that's a nutshell of what How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is about. Then they blame you when they're the ones that were the problem, like they did in the end of the movie, where she's like, well, Ben. To where they want you to romantically chase after them, and you do. You always chase after the bad ones. The good ones, you close the book on. Go take a look at what Gary's up to. It's all a mind game, and then they call it the Constitution and freedom. But Constitution also represents boundaries. And not the kind of boundaries where I'm going to control you, but it's where two people are actually in this is the key. You are not in real relationships with each other. You are not in real relationships with each other. Your staff and you are not in real relationships, yet you call them family. You're bottom dwellers. You can't have real conversations with each other. So instead you work off lust. Instead you promote garbage and no one's protecting the audience from what you're up to. No one's protecting us. A free country has law and order says that if you're against the Constitution, you have to have a ethics and moral standard to know and understand the Constitution. Because you being able to do whatever you want is against my constitutional rights. It's against my constitutional rights to sit there and watch all you 400,000 people on my land riot for a Middle Eastern country that's trying to kill my country. While Monavand goes to another event as a Persian. Middle Easterns will not take over democracy because they don't understand democracy. She doesn't know what free country is. She just knows everything that she wants, she gets, and she looks good doing it. So I will continue to produce content, Monavand, and you'll continue to do the same shit you did yesterday and not educate everybody. But I want you to pay attention that some of my videos now have 2,000 views. And eventually the dam and the levee is going to break, and so is your back. And I got words for each and every attempt at a comeback from your lazy ass videos. You literally spend one day a month making shit, and then the rest of the month going places with Gary Vee, taking garbage photographs, and then Gary calls you an entrepreneur. Well, he gets you brand deals. That's not an entrepreneur, nor is it a physician, nor is it someone who belongs in this country. And if I find out that you've done anything against this Constitution, Gary Vee, you will go to jail.